Something. Look it, man. I've been an Atlanta fan for 45 years.
Late night vibes, we're turning up the heat. T-Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. T-Will, shining bright on the airwaves, bringing sports tonight. Atlanta heart, with a soul so free. My ATL sports show, it's the place to be.
Welcome, ATL Falcon fans. Welcome to the Terry and Carrie show with, of course, your host, T. Will, and my friend and co-host, BPE Carrie. How you doing this morning, Carrie? All well?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, and 2 days away from some Atlanta Falcons football. And let me tell you something, Carrie, I am truly excited about it because we are going to go up to Minnesota and exact a measure of revenge. That's what I'm going to name and claim because my brother's like, do you believe in the Bible? Because you got to claim those things as though they were so. So I'm claiming this morning that the Falcons are going to go into Minnesota and deliver some justice. There we go. I said it, and there it is. Deke is in the chat this morning. Deke says, good morning. He says, got to get this win. Yeah, we do, Deke. Carrie, how you feeling this morning? You all right? Everything
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, everything's good. I'm happy it's Friday and I am ready for Falcons football, hopefully to go 1-1, back to 500 after Sunday night. So,
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Super excited about this. So, Carrie, last week we previewed the game. Unfortunately, we got to do a little review this week. Let's talk about this Falcons Bucks games. Now, there were a lot of positive. By the way, we got Jermaine in the building. He says, thank God it's Friday. Jermaine, thank God indeed, my brother. Thank God indeed. Um,
yes, for sure.
let's talk about some missteps. Let's talk about some things we did well. What do you want to talk about first, Carrie? You want to talk about the missteps, or you want
Yeah,
to talk
let's
about the things
start
we
out
did well?
negative so we can end on a positive for sure.
Start out negative. Okay, that's a new tagline. Start out negative. There you go. All
I'd
right. So
rather end on the good note.
no, nothing wrong with that. You're
It's like
right.
when somebody's breaking to you and so they say, I got something to tell you. You want the bad news or the good news first? So I rather start with the bad news personally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when my wife says we got to talk. I already know. Oh God, here we go. No, so yeah, let's talk about it. So we had an inability to run the ball. That's clear. We could not run it on toss sweeps. We could not run it on outside stretch. We could not run it on inside stretch. We just could not run the ball. I think we averaged 2.5 yards per carry.
Mm.
By the way, Silk Legacy says, "What up, T. Will and Carrie?"
Good
And
morning,
we
Silk
got Miss
Legacy.
Pam in the building. Miss Pam Jackson, T. Will and Falcon fans. Hey, Miss Pam, how you doing? Hopefully you are doing okay this morning. And yeah, we are thinking about you, Miss Pam. So just want you to know that. But yeah,
Yes.
okay, we could not run the ball either way. Give me your thoughts on that. Do you think we can correct that this week? Brian Flores or B Flow or whatever whatever the nickname they've given him. But Brian Flores is a heck of a defensive coordinator. You think we can correct that this week, or give me your thoughts?
I mean, Zach Robinson has a task on his hand. He's definitely going to have to figure out a way to do so. It's not going to be easy, going against Brian Flores because, yeah, his defense is something else. Like, he's definitely one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, and he's definitely not going to make it easy with that defensive front. So, But we have two guys on our team that are arguably one of the best, running back duos in the league with Tyler Algier and Bajan Robinson. So running the ball, averaging 2.5 yards per carry with those two guys is just not going to do it. It's not You're not going
Yeah,
to win a game if you can't run the ball, and
yeah.
doesn't help essentially your rookie quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. to set up the pass. So, I mean, you have to figure out a way. Zach Robinson has to get creative and figure out a way to run the ball. Otherwise, we're not gonna be able to win the game, unfortunately. Like, I mean, come on. Baker Mayfield had more rushing yards than our guy, Bajan Robinson. I mean, who would have guessed that? That's just not cool. Not acceptable. I think both Tyler and Bajan had 24 yards each, so
Mm,
rushing. So, yeah, that's definitely unfortunate. And, like I said, you're not gonna be able to win that way. We had Michael Penix Jr., who honestly looked very, very good, had a great game
mhm.
on Sunday. But I mean, he did everything in his power to put us in a position to win, but unfortunately we fell short. Um, but I'm not happy with having him as in his fourth NFL start throw the ball 42 times. Like that's just not ideal, right? So I'm hoping we get more of a balance between the run and the pass game on Sunday night football.
100% agree, Carrie. It's kind of difficult to win when you're throwing it 42 times. Although we did have an opportunity. Deke says yes, need to get that run game juiced up. Maggie T, good morning, Maggie
Good
T. How
morning.
you doing? Pam Jackson says thanks to all. Yes, another blessed day. Yeah, we got to figure out how to run this ball. Look it.
Mm.
I don't know if it was rust. I don't know if it was that they came out in some fronts that we were not ready for, but we have got to get that corrected because, to your point, Carrie, you have to be able to run the ball. Everything that you want to do is predicated off of the run. The play action is not going to work if you cannot run the ball. And also, I'd like to see some more deep throws. Look at
Oh my
Michael Penix has
goodness.
a cannon. You may as well use it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If you show up to a gunfight with an AR-15, but you're using your 9 millimeter, I mean, what's the point? Hey, man, sometimes you got to load that thing and let it go. You know what I mean? Let it rip. Look, he's got that cannon for an arm. He needs to be able to use it. So I'd like to see us have an opportunity to do that. And that was another thing that I was kind of, I don't want to say that I didn't like, but I did see them in some single high safeties uh, sets, Carrie. And I'd like to think that, in that formation, you should be able to throw it long. Now, if you want to say that, guys weren't open, then okay. You know what I mean? Honestly, I did not go back and watch the replay, but I think about 6 or 7 times I saw single high safety. So hopefully we can take advantage of that this week. Again, it was the first game. We have 16 more. As my brother says, hey, let's go 16-1. So let's be positive. But
the, the
we
thing
definitely go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say the thing that does give me that showed promise against, a really good defense in the Minnesota Vikings and Brian Flores, being led by Brian Flores, one of the best DCs in the game, is that Michael Penix looks so good under pressure. Like, he only was sacked one time, and mind you, this is like our center's first season as a starter, first official game as the starter. I mean, yes, he filled in previously for Dahlman, but this is the first time he's officially the starter heading into the season. And also, third string right tackle. I feel like Penix looked very good. Like I said, only sacked one time. He was very good at escaping pressure. And Tampa definitely brought it. So
They did.
so
They
I
did.
think I think it's gonna be really it's gonna be probably, especially for the neutral viewer, it's going to be a great thing to watch. Brian Flores' defensive front versus Michael Penix, who's shown that he's a good matchup for that. But for me, I'm probably going to be stressed out like I usually am. But um, but I'm really excited for the game, honestly. It should be a good one, but it's definitely not going to be an easy one because we saw, JJ McCarthy, he did not look good those first three quarters. But that fourth quarter, he went in the huddle and told his teammates, where else would you rather be?" And his teammates all loved that, and it got them fired up. And yeah, he ended up finishing the game very strong. I think he ended up having 3 touchdowns. And ultimately winning his team the game. And honestly, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So
True.
I think he's still going to make rookie mistakes on Sunday night.
Hmm.
Second NFL start, it's going to be Penix's fifth NFL start.
Hmm.
But um, I think JJ definitely. I think our secondary is definitely finally going to have some picks on Sunday Night Football, because like a player like Xavier Watts almost had two on Sunday, and in his first ever NFL start, he looked very very good. So for me, I think this against a rookie quarterback second start, I think this definitely could be the game where he comes away with one.
Yeah, they agreed. And we definitely missed some opportunities, which was my next. That's perfect segue, Carrie. We missed opportunities, right? So we missed about 4 sacks. I think we ended up getting one. There are three more we definitely probably could have and should have gotten. And there may have been 3 or 4 picks. I know there was two with Xavier Watts. There were at least another one. There was at least another one I saw. So if we had taken advantage of half of those opportunities, I think this is a different game. You definitely, if that turnover's in front of you, you got to get that ball, man. Look at most NFL teams that win that turnover battle win the game. So we definitely have to secure those turnovers and sacks where they are there. And in other words, you got to be disciplined in your rush lanes. Baker killed us because simply when we went in to rush, he just evaded us and kept going. Look, we were getting there. We put pressure on him. We were getting there. But when you get there, you got to get him. You got to get him on the ground. So we have to do a better job of that. I think if we do that, I think this game goes the Falcons' way. But again, we got to take care of the ball and we got to take the ball away. That's definitely something that we need. Now we did have an explosive play with Bijan. There was a little check down to him where he just basically did the rest, and that was magic. And honestly, Kerry, I'd like to see more of that, especially with again, not that our guys are not going to play, but they are a little banged up. So to the extent that something happens and one of our receivers has to go out or whatever, I'd like to see Bijan utilized more in the passing game, because he's definitely a weapon. And look, you can't double everyone. So those are my thoughts. Give me some other things that you think that we can do going into this Minnesota game, from an offensive perspective to secure a victory, Carrie. And by the way, Jonta Rozier says, "Good morning, T. Will and Miss Carrie."
Good morning,
Good
JJ.
morning, Jonta. Hopefully you're doing fine. Good to see you this morning, my friend. Pam Jackson says Penix did well and was poised under pressure and carried our team where we could have made touchdowns. Yes, he did. I'm sorry, Carrie. Go ahead. What were you
No,
going
it's
to say?
okay. As far as offense goes, I think like I said earlier, like we have to have a more balanced offense as far as like rushing and passing. Um, Honestly, I think, this is more special teams, but I think
Hmm.
because of our kicker problem, I think, we might do what we did last season when Koo was hurt and couldn't make field goals, and that's go for it more on fourth down, be more aggressive. So I could see that happening. Um, my thing is like clean up the penalties. I think, excuse me,
Yeah.
penalties also killed us on
Mm-hmm.
both sides of the ball, really. But specifically, offensive line, Wilkinson. I know like you hadn't played right tackle since 2021, but he had two false starts at home. As a 9-year vet. Um, on Sunday. And for me, the way Jack tells us, I've never personally been to the Viking Stadium, but Jack tells me it's one
It's
of the
loud.
loudest
Yeah,
stadiums
it
that
is
there
loud.
is. The fans are diehard, they're loud. It is a hostile environment, so it is going to be loud. And those type of things, when the fans bring that, it causes players to have false starts. And I'm just hoping maybe. Wilkinson got that out of the system, and our guys in general got that out of their system because it's not going to be an easy environment to play in on Sunday Night Football for sure. So,
No,
I do wish we were wearing the throwbacks. We're gonna be like iced out with the all white. I feel like we always play so well in our throwbacks.
we do.
So I do wish we were wearing the throwbacks on Sunday
Yeah,
Night Football, but it's okay. But yeah, I really also am hoping Mooney's back because I think we missed him
we
desperately.
did. We did. Those
As
deep
far
outs
as yes, as far as like deep balls, and maybe that's why they weren't really
going
having
deep.
Penix, yeah, air it out because even during the game, I remember I tweeted out like, "Come on, like Zach Robinson, please open the playbook. Like, let my
Yeah,
quarterback air it out." Like,
let's
I felt
go.
like we weren't letting him do what he's so good at doing.
Yeah,
Um, so I don't know if that's because we were missing Mooney, so we didn't have that deep threat, or speed. Maybe that could be why. I'm not really sure, but I'm hoping Mooney's back. He was limited in practice yesterday with that shoulder injury still. Um, Obviously was out on Sunday. He was definitely missed.
mhm,
Now we have Drake, who got, he had to leave the game Sunday with the shoulder injury. I'm also hoping he's going to play. He did practice limited as well yesterday.
mhm.
Um, and in Raheem's press conference, he said that, Drake is so tough and he has a feeling. He's not saying that he's playing for sure, but he has a feeling that he will play. So that is promising because, I mean, missing your wide receiver one and two, I mean, away game in
Tough.
a tough environment, yeah, like that.
That's tough.
Especially when you just showed like somebody figured out your run game, like how to stop
Mhm,
it. So yeah, we really need Mooney and Drake back personally. That's how I feel. But
mhm.
um and yeah, also Billy Bowman had a shoulder. I didn't know about
Saw
that till the
that.
injury. I don't know
And
if that was in practice or what really happened with his
yeah,
shoulder, but he also has a shoulder injury popped up on the injury report as well on yesterday. So that's something to monitor as well. He looked very good
he did.
as well. So yeah,
He
what
did.
what are your thoughts?
No, agreed. I think we got to feed Pitts. Silk Legacy says feed Pitts.
Oh,
Let me tell
that's a
you,
great
high,
one. Gosh,
high,
I didn't even go over Pitts.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well, I know, right? And he's your guy. So, but
Being the Pitts defender all off season.
I know it's weird. What happened, man? What's going on? What did he
Oh
not pay his bill,
man,
Carrie?
no,
You no longer
no.
represent
I
him as
know
your
he
client.
forgot to
What's
pay me. No, I'm
going on?
kidding.
I don't know.
No,
No,
honestly,
but
I mean, look, you saw what happened when we did feed Pitts. I
oh
think,
yeah,
yeah, he looked very.
he looked great. Carrie, you there? You cut out. You there? Carrie, you there?
Yeah,
Carrie's
I'm
having.
here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. He looked great. Penix, let me tell you something. Penix looked incredible. He converted some third downs last week, and we'll probably need him to do it again. You'll need Bijan. I'd like to see some combinations of Bijan and Tyler. You know what I mean? You're going to have to get creative, is what I'm saying. You're going to have to use all your weapons. It can't just be line them up and run the ball. You're going to have to get creative. So, um,
You hear
yeah.
that, Zach Robinson?
Mm,
And please use Pitts and Drake in the end zone. They got to get more creative in the
yeah.
end zone, like in the red zone. I'm sorry, like I don't want to settle for field goals because we have a kicker problem right
Yep.
now. And
Yep.
honestly, we had an issue with that last season. We were honestly bottom five in red zone efficiency. Like we need to improve in that drastically because Drake London and Kyle Pitts are both mismatches in the end zone. Like they're both their reach, their height, like
Mhm.
everything. They're huge. Like they're basketball players. Drake literally played basketball in college. Like, I mean, I just hope this week we see more from Zach Robinson because I feel like the offense was very predictable on this past Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And look it. We got Jay Black. Jay Black says, "Oh snap, I caught the live. Laugh out loud." Jay Black says, "Rise up. They said we should be able to run the ball against the Vikes D Sunday night." Pam Jackson says, "And use Algier." And Silk Legacy says, "Put Blair in to stress the defense." I'd love to see Chris Blair get a shot. I would love to see Chris Blair get a shot. Jay Black says,
I just want to say hi to Jay Black and to his point.
mm-hmm,
Um, Last year, I mean, also another thing about the run game that gives me promise is last year, I believe we had 158 yards rushing
Hmm.
against, between Algier and Bijan. They both saw the ball. They both rushed for a combined 158 yards. So that does give me promise that we will run the ball efficiently because we did it last season against the Vikings. So
Yeah. Well, I have hope. I have hope. We will see. Depends on where we ran it, right? But like you said, we got to figure it out. Got to be able to do it. Got to be able to get that done. Again, I would like to see more. Um, Again, creativity, more diversity within the offense, specifically in the way you use Bijan and Algier. Look, you got both of them. You may as well use them. You can have them, in whatever formation you want. Put Bijan in the slot. It just gives you options that you can utilize. Especially now when you got two receivers that are banged up. Look, they'll play, but we don't know, how that's going to shake out. Pam Jackson says, "Can we work on punt returns and get more yards? Can we work on punt coverage, Miss Pam?" Jay Black also says, "Carrie, the new beat writer for the Falcons. Carrie, you got something you want to tell us?
no,
You
thank you, Jay
sure?
Black. I appreciate it though.
Okay. All right." Jay Black says, "T. Will, that Mike secondary does not want to tackle Tyler if he breaks that first tackle." No, they don't. A lot of people don't want to tackle Tyler because he's a problem. But the point is, we got to use our assets. Look, I love Drake and I love Mooney, but they're not our only weapons. And I think if it's one thing we need to do better as an offense is we need to utilize all of our weapons, right? At least those are my thoughts. Like I think you need to utilize Tyler Moore. And that doesn't necessarily mean you did what you last week because you tried to run the ball, it wasn't there. But when I mean use them, I mean, hey, guess what? You got Tyler and Bijan in the background. Put Bijan in the slot. Run Bijan deep sometimes, swing it out to however you want to do it, but you do need some diversity in that run game. James Obleton says, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning, James.
Good morning.
So yeah, those are just my thoughts. But let's talk about this kicking situation, Carrie, because
Oh Lord.
it's the elephant in the room, and we got to talk about it.
All right, let's
Silk
go.
Legacy says, "No, Carrie is the president of BPE." Yes, she is.
I am
Dagnammit.
too.
Say it loud. Say it with your chest, Silk. Say it with your chest.
Thank you, sis.
Um, we got to talk about this kicker situation. Look, this has been going on for like a year. This has been going on back to 2023. So at the end of
Mm-hmm.
2023, who started missing some kicks? We all know what happened in 2024. Some people think it's injury, like myself. I think his hip is injured. I think that's why he modified his delivery or his kick follow through process. Some folks think it's mental. Some folks think it's both. Whatever it is, it's got to be figured out, or we need to move on, right? So juxtaposition, or let's compare the 49ers and what they did, right? They had a similar situation with their kicker where last year he missed some kicks, missed quite a few. There's one game he missed 3 kicks, another one he missed 2. As a matter of fact, there's a game where the team got so frustrated, Debo walked up to their kicker, the 49ers, and punched him. Glad we don't have that here, but it just denotes the fact that, you do everything you can to get in this situation. The kicker misses the field goal, it can be a problem. It can be problematic. So, with that being said, 49ers released their kicker, signed another one. The Falcons signed 5 kickers to do a tryout in 1 week. Now, I know what my thoughts are. We talked about this last night. But, Carrie, give me your thoughts on the differences in approach. In other words, would you rather have just released Koo and signed someone for simplification? For basically to make it simple, right? Like, look, instead of just bringing in 5 guys, which kicker, this one, this one, this one. How about we just release Koo and sign who you're going
Hmm.
to sign? Those are my
Hmm.
thoughts. Carrie, give me your thoughts on it. Do you
Wait, so
think
is that what you would want to do?
me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Koo. I love him to death. He's kicked some great ones for us. But when it's time, man. Look, this is a
Hmm.
year and a half of this. Okay? This is a year and a half of this. This is extending into parts of 2 seasons, latter part of 2023, all of 2024, and 2025.
Mm.
Okay. And at a certain point, it is what it is. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's physical. It's something. Do you trust Koo? If it's a 48-yard field goal for the game Sunday night, do you trust Koo right now, Kerry?
Oh no, not at all.
Then you got
He couldn't even make a 44-yarder to bring us to
correct.
overtime on
Correct.
Sunday. So I am absolutely not putting the game in
Right.
Koo's hands, unfortunately. Yes, he used to be money. I know some people were like telling me, "Oh, but he's won so many games for us." Yeah, in the past, but
Mhm.
you know, like our head coach once said, you can't live in the past.
That's right.
So,
Raheem did
I
say that.
mean, yeah, he did
Raheem
say
did
that
say that.
on the radio show, so 92.9 The Game. So, for me, I mean, it was a different subject, but he did say you can't live in the past. And I
He
feel
did
like
say
that's
that.
living in the past because NFL, not for long. Like, honestly, what has he done for me lately? You
Right.
are not consistent and you are not dependable. And kickers, unfortunately, have one job and you're not performing your job. Unfortunately, like, you gotta put the team above one player, right?
Right.
Like, and I think I don't know, for me, I think the 49ers approach, they're a winning organization.
Mhm.
Yes, they have a lot of injuries this season, so they might not be in winning one this season, but, they do have a history of winning. They've been in the playoffs definitely more recently than we have. I
Mhm.
just see it as you're not doing your job. Kind of like Aaron Glenn. I don't know if you saw his interview the other day. They cut the guy that, after he didn't perform and do his job last Sunday. And Aaron Glenn was like, if you don't do your job, you're out of here. And I feel like, you know, that approach could work because it kind of pushes people to be their best self in their position. And yeah, you do your job or you're out of here and it's next man up. So especially for a kicker, right? I feel like that's one of the easiest positions to replace on the team. So I think our perspective is, in my opinion, our head coach really likes Koo. I mean, he said that I keep saying emotional bank, but what did he actually say? Emotional something, in
Yeah.
that
I
one
mean,
interview.
whatever he said, he should have said.
Essentially, yeah,
Whatever he said, he
essentially
should.
that, how would you describe what that even means? That he,
I mean,
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
know, but
feelings for him,
he
but
shouldn't have. He shouldn't have said it because you set yourself up. Like the thing about Raheem. Well, hold on. We got to do some housekeeping. So, Silk Legacy says Koo is mentally drained ever since they stole his shoes. We got NIL Berto in the building. Berto, what it do, man? How you doing?
good
Hopefully
morning,
all is
Berto.
well, my friend. Berto is Big Brother Almighty in this game. One of my many big brothers that helps me out. So I appreciate him. Pam Jackson says, "Where's Kruger?" Jay Black says 95 North Talk Show. What up, Haas? Let's see. Berto says Jay Black, my guy. What's good? Hope all is well. Berto, how you doing, man? Hopefully you're doing well, man. I got nothing bad to say about Berto. He's just one of those people when I see him, man, just gives me a good feeling in my heart because he's a positive brother, always looking out for you, always looking to help. Love that dude. Now, with that being said, Carrie, um, some things you can avoid, right? Why would you say, well, he put something in the emotional bank? Especially knowing Koo's past, right?
Mm,
Knowing that Koo wasn't great last year, knowing that Koo, you know what I mean? Knowing why would you even set yourself up for that? Why even make that comment, right? Because you know what people are going to say now, well, you keep Koo around because he's one of your favorites
right.
when you already went through this with Jimmy Lake Lanier, where careers go to die. Why
I
would you
mean,
do that, Raheem?
I
That's that
mean,
that's no. We got to talk about this, Kerry. Because look, I love Raheem. Raheem sometimes is his own enemy. You got to know when to shut up, right?
right.
Stuff you can't say everything you want to say, right? You cannot say everything you want to say. You cannot. I don't care what you think. You can't say everything you want to say. And when you make the statement, well, he put something in the emotional bank, what the hell are you doing? You've
Right.
automatically set it up. Oh, well, you didn't cut him because he's one of your favorite players. And the first game, he cost us a game,
Mm,
right? Got to clean it up, Raheem. Got to. Hey, this is big boy business. It's grown, as Big Boy said in ATL. This grown man business, Raheem. It's grown man business.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, to your point, the 49ers, Jake Moody was bad. He was worse than Koo last season. But
Hmm.
Koo was probably second worst. He was 18 for
Yeah.
28 in
Yeah.
kicks, so just
Yep.
not acceptable. But Moody was crazily enough, he was worse. Um, but Moody missed 2 field goals on Sunday, and they said Tuesday, you're out of here. So it just to me shows, yeah, we're not effing around. Like we need to win games, and you're not going to lose us games. Because if he would have made those 2 games, 2 field goals, they win the game.
Yeah.
They lost by less than a score, kind of like how we did. So,
Yeah.
Koo is definitely a problem. I'm not going to blame that loss on him
Hmm.
on Sunday because honestly, there was a lot of things that need to be fixed, in my
It was.
opinion.
It
So it
was.
wasn't all on him, but definitely the spotlight's going to be on you as a kicker because, hello, for obvious reasons. But he definitely ruined our chance of going to overtime and giving us a chance to win that game. So for me, that's just, I mean, whether you want to call it, he's in his head or he's hurt still or he's just I don't know. He's not that old, but maybe, Father Time, as far as his body goes, is catching up with him. And he's just not it anymore. He's not money, clearly.
I
So,
mean, look, I do not. Let me say this. I do not play the game, and people look at kicking as though it is easy. It is not. It is not. I get it. I understand. But we are going on a year and a half. And my thing is this: at this point, Raheem, you need to know when to shut up.
right.
Okay, Raheem is a very loquacious, which means he likes to talk. Very loquacious, very articulate, very well spoken, very entertaining young man. But there are times where you can set traps for yourself.
You
You got
know,
to know what to say. You got to know when to say it.
it's so
I was
funny you say that, T Will, because it's so wild how our last head coach Arthur Smith was like
was the
complete
polar opposite.
opposite. Yeah,
Yeah,
polar opposite, and a
yeah,
lot of fans didn't like that because it's like he had no charisma. He wasn't, it wasn't as exciting to hear from him. It was very
yeah,
cut and dry, very it's
yeah.
like one of those professors you have or teachers you have that are just
That just
so
bore the hell out of you.
yeah, when you're up at the front, when you're
Bueller,
teaching, yes. So
Bueller, Bueller.
so it's just crazy to me how like we got what we asked for and now it's like, I don't know, it's a
Yeah,
little
that's a
much.
good
Maybe I
point.
want something in the in
Great
between.
point, Gary. It's a great point. No, my parents, my dad always, and because I ask him for something. All right, son, you gonna get what you want. I just
Right.
hope you want what you get. Right?
Right.
He would, he would do
But
that, and I'd be like, not. And we, to your point, Carrie, we got what we wanted. But did we? Do we really want what we got? Because, and I love Raheem. Raheem is a player's coach, and that's great. But there has to be a clear delineation, okay, between coach and player. There has to be. There has to
right.
be a final line. And look, I've had people work for me. I was a supervisor in corporate America for the better part of 10 years. I had some people that I truly loved that worked for me. But if they did certain things, you got to let them go. You can't get to the point to where oh, I'm just not gonna do this because of how I feel about this person, because then your organization is compromised. Now, with that being said, are there people that I would go harder for than others? Absolutely. If you're late to work every day and every time I ask you to do something, if it comes down to it, no, I'm not going to bed for you, right?
Right.
If you
Right.
come into work and you do everything I ask you to do and you go hard, then I'm gonna go hard for you. But with that being said, if you are deficient in certain areas, whether I like you or not, I have to address it. And the contingent upon how egregious your deficiencies are, I got to do what I got to do. You get what I'm saying? What
Yes, and
that
to
would
your
be.
point,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Carrie.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say to your point though, I feel like it's easy to blame Koo, but my thing is, and I said this all off season on the podcast, that my thing is we win the South depending on two things mostly. Penix is who we think he is as advertised, which he's
Hmm.
already showing that game one.
Hmm.
And number two is coaching. That was my main concern.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think Raheem did a good job on Sunday of the timeouts and
He
making the
did. He did.
challenges. I mean, we had a couple challenges in that
He
game.
did.
So I
He
think
did.
he did much better, this game than he did last season. But I mean, it is one game, so hopefully he continues on with that. But my thing is, it's knowing when to make these tough decisions as a head coach,
Hmm.
that he had a hard time doing last season as far as like, okay, Koo is hurt, he's losing you games like that Aints game in New Orleans, like you gotta move on. Or Kirk Cousins, 6-3, you don't bench him, you wait too long, you give him the benefit of the doubt
Right.
because maybe optics, or maybe because he's a veteran, or maybe
Right.
because you paid him all that money. But as the head coach, you got to make tough decisions, and
Got to
you
make.
got to either cut or bench players when they're
Yeah.
losing you games, because ultimately it's team above a individual player or
Yeah.
feelings. Because, when it comes down to it, if you don't make those tough choices and decisions as the head coach, it's going to be your job next,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. No.
Because to me, you're on the hot seat, even though it's only Raheem's second season. Terry Fontenot, got him all the tools, and
Yeah.
he had an incredible draft. I,
Yep.
I honestly think he hit on all the picks.
Yep.
I mean, Jack Nelson looks as to be as a project as most offensive linemen are, but
Mhm.
the other picks that we have,
Yeah.
like the defensive
Bowman,
picks, I mean,
Watt,
wow.
Walker,
Here's
JPJ. Yeah,
They
definitely.
all, I mean, all day one starters, which is, amazing in my opinion, because last season it felt like our draft picks were all like redshirted and we didn't really
Yeah.
see much of any of them.
Yeah.
So this season they're all starters, which I love to see. So, and they're all making a difference, honestly. They
Yeah.
all looked great on Sunday. So for me, this season is, I still believe it'll be coaching, because yeah, you got to make tough decisions. And to me, in my opinion, I'm not a coach, so this is just my opinion as a fan. So I could be wrong, but to me though, this should have been handled during training camp, during the off season. I mean, you had all this time to figure out the kicking position. Koo was
Hmm.
missing kicks in practice, because all the beat writers were reporting that he, some days he would be good, but he was not consistently making every single kick in training camp.
Hmm.
So to me, you should have had the real kicking competition during training camp. Um, it's very frustrating in my opinion as a fan, because you lose a game, your home opener to start the season against, the Buccaneers, who've won the division the last 4 seasons. It takes you to lose to them at home, and for Koo to miss the game tying field goal to go to overtime, for you to have a real kicking competition. I believe they brought in 6 or 7 kickers actually. So to work out. And we ultimately signed Parker Romo to the practice squad. So for me, that's a real kicking competition, because you brought in not just young guys, but you brought in veterans that, have experience around the league, in the NFL. Raheem did an interview, a press conference this week, where he said Lenny Craig, he was asked if Lenny Craig will be in the mix to be the starter, going forward. And Raheem essentially shut that down and said, Lenny Craig is not ready yet, that he is a developmental project. So to me, you did not just figure that out when he didn't play this past Sunday, against the Buccaneers. You knew that during training camp, right? Like after what you saw. So to me, in hindsight, it feels as if Koo versus Craig was never a real kicking competition during the off season. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm feeling in this moment after what, Raheem just said about him being a developmental project and he's not ready yet. Um, I feel like based off of what Raheem has told us about, Koo, having an emotional bank with him, it almost feels as if he really likes Koo, and in his mind, yeah, he did what the fans wanted, or maybe the media wanted, just to appease us by bringing in Craig as like a quote unquote competition for the kicker, but it really in my eyes didn't feel like it's a real competition. It feels like we had this real competition, when we signed Parker Romo, and it's unfortunate. I'm not a fan of that. I think this all should have been taken care of in the off season personally. And yeah. What are your thoughts, T. Will? I feel like this should have all been handled already, but I could be wrong, honestly. But as a fan, that's how I'm feeling. And I think, Craig could be our future guy after Koo leaves. We have one more year left with Koo, but I truly feel based off of what Raheem has told us now in the press conferences with the emotional bank as well as Craig not being ready. I feel like his plan was to bring in Craig. It almost looks as if we're giving he's giving the people what they want as far as a competition. But in his mind, the way he likes Koo so much, it was always going to be Koo's job because he wanted to give him one more chance this season to make it right, to kind of have like a comeback season. But what do you think? Do you agree, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's time to move on, Carrie. Let me get to some housekeeping and then I'll answer what you said because whoa, these comments are coming in. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. 95
Maybe
North
just skip
says,
the ones where Jay Black. I think Jay Black and
yeah, he did.
Berto are having a side conversation, so you could
No,
probably
no, no,
skip
no. I
those
got
where
it.
they
I
add
got it.
each other.
But Berto says has to stop emotionally attached to players and has to be a little bit more cutthroat with performances. That's true.
I completely
Uh
agree. I completely
I
agree.
I do. I do. 95 North deserves part of the blame for a winnable game on Sunday.
Me too.
Let's
Yeah, I
see.
feel like I said, I feel like offense was way too predictable. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was very
Yeah.
underwhelming as far as the game plan and what he showed us on Sunday.
Yeah. Jay Black says, do you think this misplaced arrogance based on the talent of Bijan and Tyler is the reason the run game was so Warner Robbins? T will pipe in on this too. I mean, it could be. But look, here's what I'm gonna say on that. And I agree. I agree, Jay Black. But here's what I'm gonna say on that. When you have to modify, right? Because this is what I want to get back to. And Carrie, to your point, this is why this should have been handled during preseason. When you have to modify your game plan, and Raheem spoke about that in this week's interview this year, 2025, this season. Hey, last year we had to go for it on fourth and whatever because we didn't have confidence. Well, if you had to do that, why is Koo still here? When you have to modify, right?
Right.
And the only reason I can see him being here is if last year he was injured and you think he's better. That's the only reason. And if that's the case, that's fine. But you go in here, you cost us a game. And I don't care what anybody says. There's enough pie to go around, but a large piece of it is cool. Okay? I don't
Right.
care what anybody says. So if that's the case, right? 49ers cut their guy. Look, it sometimes I know you hate it. You can love a person, but you still need to break up with them, right? There are people that you can date that you can have the best time with, but they are bad for you. You are a worse person when you are around them. You are
Mm,
non-productive when you are around them. Your life is in spirals when you are around them. Things don't go well when you are around them. People hate you when you are around them, but you have the greatest time. But you sometimes got to cut the cord. You got to do it. Got to let them go. Okay, that's where I am
right.
with it. Time to, and look, no disrespect to Cool, no disrespect to him. I appreciate Cool.
No,
I
not at
appreciate
all.
everything. I appreciate everything that he's done. But to me, it's time to get off that train. And this six ring circus where you bring in six guys to what?
After
Oh wait,
game one,
it's
right?
three card
After the
Monty.
season
Wait a minute,
started.
hold on. Which one are we gonna pick? Wait. Oh, card number one, cool. Card number two, cool. Card number three, cool.
I
Come
just
on.
want to say, Monte Carlo, hi to you and hope you're doing well. He
What up,
said, did he just
Carlo?
walk into a therapy session?
What up,
Maybe
Carlo?
you could call it that. I feel like every time I vent to, our group chat, I always tell them thank you for hearing me out because I'm venting to them.
You just gotta let look it
Yeah.
enough, right? That's what I'm saying. Enough. You and two things.
Yes.
Again, I love Coach Raheem. I really do. I think he has the capacity and the potential to be a great coach. But as a very wise man once said, a hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. Sometimes you got to let folks go. Okay, we should not be doing this. Which kicker is it? Is it one? Is it two? Oh, we're gonna have
T-Will,
tryouts.
you could do that, but do it in the off season.
Thank
Like
you.
it's
Thank
already
you.
go time,
Thank you.
September,
It's go time.
Yeah,
It
I'm
is go
sorry,
time.
September 7th, it was already go time and you're still like, definition insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I truly think because Raheem likes Koo. He's made that apparent that, obvious that he really likes Koo. I think because he likes him, he wanted to give him one more shot to like make it right this season. I really do.
Yeah.
And I know that because Koo played this past Sunday, his money that he's owed is guaranteed now. So if you would have cut him in the off season, it wouldn't have been, but now because he played, it's guaranteed. So maybe that's why they didn't cut him like, they weren't savage like the 49ers with Jake Moody. Maybe that's why we're doing a different approach where we keep Koo, but we work out guys on the practice squad. Or sorry, we worked out some kickers. We signed Parker Romo to the practice squad. But the thing about it is, just because we signed Parker Romo to the practice squad doesn't mean he's gonna be kicking for us because Koo's still on this team.
But we got
So
we got three kickers now. Let me ask you a question, Kerry. What does that say to other guys that don't perform? Oh, it's okay if Raheem likes you. You get what I'm saying? You're sending
right,
a very bad message. You're sending a very bad message. Look, this is a talented team. My daddy, long time ago, once told me a good coach can take his team and beat your team, then turn around and take your team and beat his team because he knows how to get the most out of your players. Well, the one thing that you got to do is you got to have a system that then they not only buy into, but they respect. Nobody's going to respect that you got favorites. Okay. Which again, I don't even know why you'd make the statement. Look it, when people worked for me, I did have folks that I liked more than others. And any supervisor who tells you that is either an asshole or a liar. Okay? But I did not treat them any differently because the bottom line is if people don't believe in you, they won't follow you and they will not follow mess. And this is mess. That's
right.
why I'm like, hey, why would you make that statement? Because now, even if he's not your favorite, even if you fall out with the guy, it's perceived that way. And perception is reality. And whatever, man. I'm over
And
it. Should have cut cool. You
and
you got this three-wing circus going on, and this is a long list of things that's kind of in the negative about Ryan.
mm.
Go ahead, Carrie. You about to say
To
something?
your point, yeah, I was just gonna also add that, Parker Romo had a quote yesterday where he said, let me find it again. I'm sorry. He basically said like, this is his. I found it. This is year 4 for me, team number 6. I've gotten comfortable being uncomfortable, and he said that actually helps him in games. I actually really love that quote because I feel like our Atlanta Falcons need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I believe that this season it is like that, or it should be like that anyway, because, and I know we talked about this in the off season, there's a lot of competition at multiple positions that we never had before. At the edge rush group, the pass rush group, there's competition. Um, the corners, the wide receivers. I mean, this team has more competition than it's had in any recent years, I can tell you. I mean, I remember when our first 53-man roster, came about this past August. I feel like we were not sure on every position who was going to make it. In years past, you already knew it was like a pencil in who was going to
Right,
play, who was going to be on that 53.
right.
So I do believe we have the talent there, and this is a deep squad. But I really like that quote where he says, "You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable," because
Yeah,
I
that's
don't like that if, the message you're sending, if you just keep somebody along, keep somebody on the team or keep trotting them out there when they're not performing to the
thank you,
standard and not
thank
doing their job. It's like you're showing that they can suck or not do their job and then they
you, and
still
still
get their
get here.
job.
Right,
Yeah. And it's
right,
like, that's just making everybody comfortable, like with being just average or not
right,
good enough. And that's not
right.
what you want with a winning football team. I'm
Correct,
sorry. So
correct.
that's how I feel about that.
Could not agree more, Carrie. We got to get to some housekeeping. Monte Carlo says, laugh my, yeah, I feel y'all 1000% because my ink started with them missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Carlos says, Washington kicker missed 2 in Green Bay, 1 last night. Yeah, he did. He doinked both of them. Poor guy. Jay Black says, T. Will and Carrie, all we need now is OYFM to roll through the chat now.
Yeah, shout out to Out of Your Falcon Mind. They're coming back. I don't know if you saw that,
I
T-Will, but
did.
they're making
I
a
saw
comeback.
that.
I'm
That's
so,
awesome.
so
That's
excited.
awesome.
John and Mike are two of the best people you could meet,
Yes,
honestly.
they
I'm
are.
really excited for them to be back because I was really sad when they took a break. So I knew
Yeah.
they couldn't stay gone too long. You got to
Yeah.
come back to Falcon talking Falcons, honestly.
Oh, and I
So,
I love those guys. Look, there's a story out. I mean, and I've said this many a
oh
time.
yeah,
One of the worst days of my life when, and Mike is hilarious, but Mike said something, and it just it I first off, everything that was in my mouth came out. I laughed so hard. And I will forever love them for that, man. So I'm glad to see those guys are back.
yeah, me
Still
too.
Legacy says 1, 2, 3, 4. Koo is out the door. Pam Jackson. Koo is like Kirk now. We will lose money if we get rid of him. Just pick a kicker for goodness sake and sit Koo out a few games. I can dig it, Miss
Yeah,
Pam.
Parker
Carlo,
Romo. I mean, he was
go ahead.
11 for 12 last year with Minnesota. So, um, honestly, um, what are you thinking, real quick, T. Will? You think that we're gonna trot Koo out there in that loud environment Sunday, open air stadium? It's not a roof closed dome like we, have in Atlanta. What are your thoughts? You think, what's your gut feeling? Is he gonna be the starter Sunday, or by some shocker, is Parker Romo gonna be the one kicking for us on Sunday Night Football?
I'm gonna respond like those old mini weeks commercial. The kid in me says that Raheem is going to go with Parker Romo because I'm idealistic and it's good for the team. The adult in me says no, Raheem is probably going to try it out. Cool, but that's just me. Those are my
Okay.
thoughts.
I want to ask the
Uh,
chat the same question. Do you guys think Parker Romo will be the kicker this Sunday, or will it be Young Wei Koo?
If you guys think it'll be Parker Romo, drop a 1. If you think it's gonna be cool, drop a 2. Let us know what you guys think. And yeah, man, interesting. All right, so we spent enough time on that. Again, no disrespect to Koo, great kicker, has kicked a lot for us, has done great, but sometimes you got to move on. No disrespect to Raheem, I love Coach Raheem, but I just want him to be better.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I want him
And
to be
yeah,
better, and you got to be better.
yeah, I agree. I am so thankful for Koo, what he's done for us in the past. I mean, he has had multiple game winners for us. He used to be money. Fortunately, he's not anymore. I do believe it's time to move on. He could
Yeah,
take his, I believe, 24 million and run.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so
you know,
personally, but I'm with actually Millie Mills. Shout out to him. He wants to know when Out of Your Falcon Mind's coming back. John said they don't have an exact date yet, but if you go check out their Twitter page as well as TikTok or YouTube, they've put out little promo clips, really cool little promos showing that they're coming back. But John said he doesn't have an exact date yet. But we got a lot of ones and twos in the
we
chat. But
do.
I'm with
Yeah,
Millie Mills. He says he actually does think Koo is going to kick Sunday, but Koo's going to get one more miss and homies can. I think so
yeah,
too. I think Koo's playing on Sunday.
yeah,
Um, and I'm hoping we, like I mentioned last night on the show, go for it every fourth down. Like,
yeah.
don't even attempt the field
Let,
goal.
let, let. It's 4th and 5. All right, we're going for it. Let's
We're
go.
going for it, man.
Let's
I'm
do it.
sorry.
Let's
I got
do it.
Michael Penix Jr. as my quarterback. He does not flinch under pressure. Like,
No, he does not.
we
That is a
saw,
good point. That is
yes,
a great point, Carrie. He does not.
honestly,
Yeah.
like I trust Penix in this. It's crazy to say, but I trust him so much in just his 4 games, like what he's shown, just in this short amount of time.
Yeah.
With the game on the line, I believe it's 3 out of the 4 games now. He's put us in a position to win or go to overtime, and
Yeah.
was unfortunately let down. So for me, I'm gonna put it in my quarterback's hands every single time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like I said, that's a tough environment to play in. It's very loud and it's an open stadium, so there might be wind, other factors. I'm not going for any field goals. I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going for it on fourth down. I got one of the best running backs in the league and Bijan Robinson as well as Tyler Algier, and I got hopefully a healthy Drake and Mooney. I'm really hoping. Like I already tried to reach out to find out where I can donate both of my shoulders, but I haven't heard back yet. I haven't heard back yet. But
you
we need
you gonna
them
walk
both to
around like
play.
this, Gary? That's how
Honest,
you gonna walk around like this? That's
yes.
gonna
I
be you.
mean, Drake for obvious reasons, right? That's a wide receiver one, but I truly feel like Mooney was such a huge miss on Sunday. I feel
Yeah,
like that's
he was
exactly,
missed. He was.
yeah, because that's why it forced us to not be able to go deep as far as like how I kept saying like during the game, like, why are we not letting Penix air it out? Like, and I
Yeah.
feel like because we didn't have that deep threat in Mooney the whole game. And no disrespect to Hodge, but he's not Mooney, and we saw that, on Sunday. So I feel like that was such a miss, and it's partially the reason why, because we weren't, going for it down the field with Penix, they
Yeah.
knew to just stack the box and prevent us from being able to run the ball.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm, yeah, I'm with it. Like we did last season. Raheem was very aggressive with going for it on fourth down, and I wouldn't be mad at that again this season, or at least on Sunday.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be. Jay Black says one. James Albleton says one. Ladarius Brown and his band of renown say one. Berto says two, but on a short leash. Miss Pam says
Mhm.
two. Jay Black says T. Will and Carrie, do you think Kyle Pitts will be a factor in Sunday game? Hell yes. Silk Legacy says
Yes, for
I want
sure.
one. I want one, but it'll be two. I agree
I
with him.
agree with you, Silk.
Jay Black says, y'all, I'm old. I can only do YouTube. Everything else is too much.
That's okay.
I
That's
hear that,
okay.
Jay Black. Monte Carlo, our coaching is holding us back, being timid.
Mm.
Pam Jackson says, "Have you all heard an update on Helms? Wasn't he held out of practice yesterday, or what was
Yeah, he
it?"
also, goodness, let me pull up the injury report real quick, okay? I have the
Okay,
updated one
no
I
worries. Take
posted
your
yesterday
time.
from yesterday.
Take
But
your
yeah,
time.
Helms obviously was out, week one. And yeah, he was I couldn't remember if he was out, didn't participate in practice yesterday or limited. He was limited. So for limited was Mooney, Drake, and Billy Bowman Jr. all with shoulder. JPJ, which also was he popped up as a new injury, limited with a groin injury.
Hmm.
Hopefully he's a go on Sunday because I feel like he was very good. And then Helms with a hamstring. He was also limited. Did not participate. Yesterday was Agnew, groin, which he also didn't play week one. Fuller with a knee. Jack Nelson with the calf. And Casey Washington with a concussion, his third one in just one full season. That's a concern for me.
Mm, yeah, yeah, that is. And he had a bad one last year. Like that one last year. Wait, was it a concussion that was last year? Or was it his shoulder
Yes.
that took him
Yeah,
out?
I'm pretty sure he had two. This is,
Yeah,
I think, his third concussion.
yeah. So I think we see Chris Blair this week. But hey, man, look it. Got to figure it out. Carrie, I know you do not have much longer, and we're about to wrap up. But give me your thoughts on this week's game. What we need to do to win. What mistakes we can't make, and then I need you to give me a prediction. Your score prediction. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what we need to do, first of all, is let Penix air it out. I'm hoping that, Mooney's back so that we have that deep threat. But my biggest thing is like, we got to get the run game going. You have arguably top three running back in the league in Bijan Robinson. Like, we have to use him and Tyler if we want to win this game. We can't just have Penix airing it out 40 plus times every single game. You got to have a balance between the run and the pass game. Um, that's my biggest thing on offense. On defense, I would say you got to you finish the job. You got to get those sacks. We had so many almost sacks. The pressure
Yeah,
was there, but we didn't get the sacks.
yeah.
And sacks can change a game, interceptions can change a game. It's like we weren't finishing the job. We were so close. I mean, like you said, it probably, I think even Jesse Bates actually said it yesterday. He did a press conference and he said we almost had like 4 or 5 interceptions.
Mhm.
But it's like, if and woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it
Almost,
doesn't
almost
help
didn't
us.
count. Almost
Yeah.
didn't
And
count. As Brandy said, almost
yeah,
didn't.
I mean, it's very promising, and Watts looked very good with
He did.
almost two
He looked
interceptions.
great.
But unfortunately, like you need to come away with them. So I'm really hoping, week two. I think you put a lot of pressure on JJ McCarthy.
Mhm.
You got to figure a way to not, you got to be able to like stop him from using his legs because he can also use his legs just like Baker Mayfield. And I think we had an issue with containing Baker.
Yeah.
because Baker, obviously, he, like I mentioned earlier in the show, had more rushing yards than Bajan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Not combined, but I think he had like 38. I could be wrong on that, 39 yards rushing. So we got to figure out a way to contain JJ better than we did Baker, in my opinion, because he also can use his legs. And I feel like we also need to pressure him into making a lot of mistakes. I think we were good at pressuring Baker, but and he almost did make a few mistakes, but we didn't come away with them. So for me, JJ is only going to be in his second NFL start. He has one of the best, coaches in the league as far as Kevin O'Connell. So I think, he's learning under a great coach, but he's a rookie in his second NFL start, and he only looked good in the fourth quarter. The other three, he did not look good.
Yeah.
So for me, cause him to make mistakes, pressure him to get nervous and, flinch under pressure and make those mistakes so that you can win the turnover battle and ultimately win the game. And clean up the penalties, please, all around. Please clean up the penalties.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I agree with everything you said. We got Big Low in the building. Big Low says, "What in the world, Bo? What in the world, Bo?" Ladarius says, "How
Punting,
many punts for Pinion this week, Carrie? How many times do you think we punt the ball, Carrie?"
none of them, no.
None of. Oh wow,
Shout out to Pinion.
none
He
of.
was he was really good on Sunday though, seriously.
He was. Carrie says, "None of them. None of them." Jay Black says, "No more than three." Carlos says, "We definitely gotta get a page out of Green Bay on keeping Daniels bottled up."
Oh, listen, Green
Yeah,
Bay is a different animal.
yeah,
I
they are.
mean,
That that
man, they're
that
both of
defense
their
last night looked
games.
good. They looked good.
I
They did.
mean,
I'm not gonna lie. They were. I was a little intimidated, Gary. I was a little intimidated.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Micah Parsons might be their missing piece because
Yeah,
they were already consistently in the playoffs, but now, I mean, come on. They made both the Lions and the Commanders score under 20 points.
yeah.
And both of those offenses were both in the playoffs last year and they both were lethal. Yes, that Lions lost their offensive coordinator, but I mean, they did not look good at all, and neither did the Commanders. I mean, both
No,
teams on offense looked really bad against the
they
Packers defense. So shout out to the Packers defense. Micah's been very good for them in the last two games. Obviously, they won the trade, and I would be so sad to be a Cowboys fan letting their best player walk. So
did. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Just saying. Carrie, I know you got a role. Tell these folks where they can find you.
yeah, you can find me on One Time for the Fan. Honestly, right now it's kind of all over the place, just with the
They can find
schedules.
you
It's been
here. They can find you here,
yes.
right?
Yes, of course. You can find me here once a week with T Will, but One Time for the Fan. I don't want to say the days because it's kind of inconsistent right now. So just turn on the turn on the notification
Turn on
bell,
your
and then
notifications,
yeah,
right?
and then you'll just get a notification when we go live. But
Yeah,
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 let's get
definitely.
this win on Sunday. Can't go 0-2. Can't start the season 0-2. This is a tough stretch of games to start the season, unfortunately.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, let's get the win. I would love to go 1-1 to start the season.
Hey man, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get this win. Let's go, man. All the Falcon Nation wants to see a victory. ATL wants to see a victory. And dag it, I want to see a victory. So let's go, man. Let's figure this thing out. Coach, whatever you're gonna do with these kicking situations, let's resolve that and move forward and move on. We got things to accomplish and things to do this year, and
Yes.
time waits for no man. As the dude said in that, I'm quoting movies today. That's from House Party 2. Carrie, have you seen House Party 2?
I haven't.
You have not. Have you seen House Party?
Yes, but I haven't seen number two.
Oh, you got to see number two. Number two is great. Now, number three, you can stop at two. Okay, you can
Okay.
stop at
I've
two.
seen number one,
Nope.
but not number
Right.
two.
Number two, they went to college, and it was funny to me. There were
Okay.
there were some parts that were funny in it.
Aren't there four
Uh,
of them?
yes, like I said, you
Okay.
can stop at two.
Oh, okay.
There were actually five, but you can stop at two, right? Because it got worse and worse
Oh, I
and
hate
worse,
when that
right?
happens.
It was like Jason goes to the moon. That's how 3, 4, and 5 of House Party, where it's like, okay, we've seen enough Friday the 13th, we get it, but Jason goes to hell. Jason
Right.
goes to the nether realm. Jason goes to Thor's place in Outworld. Whatever. It got to be a bit much. So yeah, you can stop at House Party too, but I definitely it's a great movie. So if you get a chance, you should check it
Okay,
out.
cool.
To everybody who joined in the chat, we
Yes.
appreciate y'all. Cannot
Oh,
thank you
yes. I
enough.
forgot that, T Will, real quick. Thank you all for joining us. I feel like there were so many people in here today
Yes,
that we really
yes.
like and care about. So shout out to everybody who also joined us and supported us as well. Um, and yeah, to Monte Carlo's points that a casual fan is going to panic if we lose. 0-2 is not a good look, and you don't want to start the season like that. But yeah, I'm not going to panic because this beginning of the schedule makers did us no favors, but it does get easier in the middle. So,
Look at what Lowe said. It's as long as you ain't watching Love Island.
oh
Hey man,
wow,
I love me some some Long Island. No, I don't love those anymore. They never loved me. But I love
oh
me some
wow,
Love Island. Yeah, Long Island. That's
yes.
two different liquors. What people don't understand is when you mix brown and clear, your hangover is so much worse. It is so much worse. So I got to the point, and I don't drink like hard liquor anymore, but when I was drinking before my heart issues, I did not mix clear or brown. So pick a lane. If you're gonna do clear, then do it. Right? If you're gonna do brown, then do it. But don't mix. Uh
Mm.
yeah,
But
don't mix. Just
we're
T will
definitely watching Love Island, but we got to get T-Will to stay off TikTok country.
gotta no, I love TikTok. What are you talking about? Stop it. What are you saying? Never. Never gonna happen. Ladarius says you can ignore House Party 3 and everything after that, similar to Police Academy. Word, Ladarius. Word. Agree with it. Word. That word is like from my generation, Carrie. It means I agree with you.
I
Like
know what
word.
word means. Oh
Okay, I'm just
wow.
saying.
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. I'm old, Carrie. I'm old. I don't know if y'all say word anymore, right? I like that's an old term,
Oh
right? That's
wow.
something we used to say when I was a kid. So I didn't know. Pam Jackson says, "Let's get this win." Shout out to Carrie T. Will and Falcons fans. Have a great rest of your day, Miss Pam.
You
You have a
too,
great
Miss
rest of your
Pam.
day.
Thank you.
Uh, Monte Carlo says 151 punch gonna do you in.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, yeah, yes, it will. Uh Big Low says we know you love TikTok, T. Will, and as the young folks say, and do. Yes, and do.
Oh
Jack
wow.
Jay Black. I'm trying to stay young and relevant, Gary.
Okay.
Come on.
I
But
respect it. I respect it. And Jay
I don't know
Black's
what's cool, so I just throw them out there. You get what I'm saying?
okay.
Like I don't
It's
know
all
what's
good.
cool and what's not cool. Jay Black says I also burnt my breakfast in the house down, messing around with T. Will and
Oh
Gary.
wow.
I'm
Please don't
sorry,
do
Jay
that.
Black. We don't want you to burn your house down, man.
Or your
But hey,
breakfast. We love food over here.
yeah, we do. Oh, T will. Hey, as you can tell by looking at me, T will love some food. Yes, I did speak of myself in third person. T will love some food. I'm not gonna lie. I was, as Carrie and Eric have dubbed me, I am, I have many nicknames. One of them is drive through. So there you go. Jay Black says, T will, I still say peace when leaving the room or hanging up the phone. Laugh out loud. I can dig it, Jay Black. Well, hey, man, I want y'all to know we love each and every one of y'all. Appreciate y'all. We just love doing this, man. We love talking about our Falcons. We love fellowshipping with y'all. And if we can do both, even better. Hopefully, we can get a victory. Carrie, what say? I don't know. Maybe Sunday we hop on here and have a show. I think either you and
Yes.
Jack, or me and you, or whoever. We're doing a show Sunday prior to the game, right? Is that
Prior to the
correct?
game, yes, we are.
Cool,
As
cool.
long as Jack isn't still doing yard work for country at that time on Sunday,
Ah!
we will be doing a show one
Big
time
Low,
for
you gotta
Tuesday.
give him a day off. You gotta give Jack a day off, Big Low. Jesus,
Seriously,
man.
yeah.
Come on.
So, um, as long as Jack is done with the yard work, we will be going live with One Time for the Fan to preview the Falcons versus Vikings game. Um,
Oh,
And if we so happen to come away with a win on Sunday Night Football, like similar to what we did in week 2 of last season, you know, most would say we stole that one under the lights, with the world watching Eagles versus Falcons with that
yeah,
dramatic win,
yeah.
in Philly. If we do the same thing on Sunday like we did last season, we'll probably do a late night show too, because we'll be so hype and happy with the win.
We will
So,
be hype and happy. That is
yeah.
true.
But
That
yeah,
is
we
true.
will be going live Sunday to preview the
We can
game.
look forward to both. Big Low says T Will says groovy when Miss Kim has on an outfit that he likes. I can dig it, Big Low. I can dig it. Well, hey, man. Again, thank y'all. Thank God for sending all of y'all in my path. Miss Carrie, thank you for joining me this morning, chat. Thank you all. I want to thank God for waking me up. Last but not least, I want to thank God for hey, Jack Spade and Eric Parker giving me my shot in this business. You guys have an amazing day. You can watch me and Jordan talk about Blade 2 tomorrow on For My ATL Sports 1 and For My ATL Movies. Monte Carlo says, low cracking that whip, sheesh, in my Jack voice. Sheesh. In my there it is. Did I do a good job on my Jack voice? Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Or no? Did I? What? Do it again, Karen. What'd you say? You do it
Jack does. Sheesh.
again.
That's my best Jack impression.
That was a great Jack and that was better than mine, Carrie, which isn't saying much, but it was still very good.
Appreciate that.
Guys, again, please like, share, and subscribe. If you like the show, tell your friends. And hey, man, drop a like and a share and subscribe. We'll be back Sunday to talk about our Falcons. You guys have an amazing weekend. Love you guys. Go Falcons. Have a great day.
Rise up.
Rise up.
Late night vibes, we're turning up the heat. T-Will on the mic, can't accept defeat. My ATL sports show, he's running the game. Atlanta Falcons fly high, you know the name. In the heart of the A, where the pride runs deep. From the Braves to the Falcons, he's keeping it real, no sleep. He's got the scoop, every player, every play. Bringing the thunder every single day. T-Will, shining bright on the airwaves, bringing sports tonight. Atlanta heart with the soul so free. My ATL sports show, it's the place to be. T-Will, taking flight. Falcons and Braves, yeah, we're feeling right. So bring that energy, let the city resonate. With T-Will on the mic, we're gonna celebrate.